I've recorded this a couple of times, trying to get my thoughts. And I am pretty pissed off today. I woke up seeing that there was a new update for Doom Eternal. They were adding the empowered demons, the new leveling system for battle mode, and some new skins. The Precious Metals update for May 14th, 2020. And all of that was to be expected. We've been waiting for empowered demons. The new skins were expected to come now, and the new ranking system is, it was fine. Now here's where the problem comes in, and here's what this video rant is about today. They added Denuvo Anti-Cheat to the PC version of this game, and it has completely broken it. I have played over 80 hours, and I have had 0 crashes, 0 game-breaking bugs. I've had a few minor glitches with the skin glitches, which have apparently now been patched. But I've had no crashes, no big bugs, no frame dips even. It has run buttery smooth at 60 frames per second my entire time playing this game with no crashing. Today, after updating, I have crashed. I crashed 3 times in less than a half hour. Every single battle mode match has crashed either during or immediately after the match finishes. I was able to finish 2 out of the about 6 or 7 matches that I tried today, and both of them crashed immediately upon finishing the match. Straight to desktop, no, not to the menu, straight to desktop hard crashes. No error message, all because of the Denuvo. And this problem carries over to single player as well. I have tried uninstalling Denuvo and just playing the game without it, saying fuck battle mode, I'm just going to play single player without it. But the game will not launch without Denuvo being detected. So now, this game, which used to run wonderfully at launch, runs like absolute shit. Single player, I have crashed multiple times, sometimes while trying to load up a level, sometimes immediately after finishing a level, and sometimes during a level. Trying to do the new weekly challenges, I performed a glory kill on a marauder and instantly crashed out of my fucking game. It's unacceptable to all of a sudden, after launch, have all of these problems. My frames have tanked. I'm no longer getting a smooth 60 frames per second anymore. I am dipping to 30, 20. It feels choppy. It feels like it's playing in slow motion. The game no longer feels buttery smooth or good or fun to play anymore. It feels like I'm stuck in mud trying to slog my way through, and it throws off the whole movement and momentum of the entire gameplay mechanic.
Your crucible is still embedded in the titan that attacked this Sentinel City. Your first battle against the demons in this world, where the legend of the Slayer began. Titan that attacked this Sentinel City. Your first battle against the demons in this world, where the legend of the Slayer began.
I found myself dying and taking damage where I really shouldn't because the game just feels off. Trying to switch weapons isn't immediate anymore because sometimes there's a frame dip and it doesn't count it doesn't register my input. It's ridiculous. And, obviously I have footage here of me playing today, and you can see my frame dips. You can see my issues that I'm having, even so far as starting up a level. Whenever there is multiple demons on the screen, the game tanks. The performance tanks. And this is ridiculous coming from a game that ran perfectly for months, over 80 hours of gameplay with not a single issue, to all of a sudden have this problem. Now, I have a pretty good computer. I have 32 gigabytes of RAM and a 1070 graphics card. There is zero reason why I should be lagging or having any kind of frame dips or performance issues all of a sudden, especially considering I never had a problem playing on Ultra mind you, this entire time. Maxed settings, not a single problem until today. It's a huge issue. On top of that, they introduced some balancing changes that I actually disagree with. In the patch notes, they've mentioned that they retooled the damage you take while in toxic water. It is ridiculously pathetic now. I never had an issue with the swimming mechanics or the water mechanics in my playthrough. I thought that they were well implemented and fair, but I guess some people bitched and they listened to the vocal minority and they made the game easier. Now you take such little damage while swimming that it doesn't even matter. You can go through a whole thing and never pick up a regen pickup, and you'll be fine. You will only die in water if you literally sit there like a fucking idiot and let yourself die. They should have just taken it out completely if this was the route they were going to go, because it is laughably easy now, and it does no damage to you at all whatsoever. Another thing was that they took out the difficulty multipliers for the purple goo, which is another thing that I highly disagree with. On higher difficulties, you moved slower and took more damage. Now you move really fast and you don't take more damage. I play on Nightmare difficulty. I don't want to play on easy mode, and it kind of pisses me off that some people, bitching made my experience less because they couldn't either play on an easier difficulty or learn to play the game. And I'm kind of hacked off by that because I like being challenged. I like playing difficult games, and Nightmare mode was perfectly challenging for the kind of experience that I want, and now it feels easier because of the environmental hazards are no longer an issue. On top of that, certain enemy AI is acting differently since this update. The Marauder is a lot less aggressive, at least as I've played so far. He's attacking a lot less. In Terrace Nabad, when I first started, he straight up didn't even charge out of the gate at the beginning like he's supposed to. He just stood there. And then eventually, after he came at me, he literally would just stare at me for sections at a time. Likewise, I have seen, since this update, a Pain Elemental AI breaking to where he would just stand there and let me basically kill him. And that has never happened before. I've never had issues with enemy AI, and I've never had an issue with the Marauder not acting aggressively towards me. I hope that's a bug, and that the game developers aren't trying to make it easier because everybody was bitching about the Marauder being too hard. But regardless, it's a problem, and playing on Nightmare mode, it should not be an issue. I want it to be challenging, and I want the enemies to be aggressive towards me. On top of that, there was news earlier about the master levels, or at least Exaltia, being locked behind a Twitch Prime paywall. That really pissed me off earlier. I included that in my rant originally because I think it is unfair for maps to be locked behind a subscription. I am okay with paying for map packs. I'm okay with paying for DLC. I bought DLC for 2016's Doom 2016, even though I didn't like the multiplayer. I still bought the DLC, and I would 100% buy maps, master levels, for Doom Eternal as a DLC map pack, but I don't like the idea of it being tied to a subscription. I'm also okay with them offering the maps for free to Twitch Prime users, but also giving the option to buy them separately to those of us who do not pay for or do not want to pay for Twitch Prime. I'm cool with the skins because they don't impact gameplay at all. They don't take away anything from me. But withholding maps is withholding game content, and that's where I have a fucking problem. Luckily, someone from Bethesda has addressed the issue, and it seems like that was an idea that has been dropped, and that the maps are no longer going to be locked behind that paywall, that subscription fee. and I'm totally cool with that. Totally happy with that response. Make sure it stays that way. So yeah, originally this video was going to be a pissed off rant with me ranting and raving and swearing and getting all worked up about how they fucked up and broke one of my favorite games with a single update. But since hearing about the Bethesda's response to the Twitch maps and just relaxing a little bit, I wanted to redo this video and talk more calm and collected about what is really going on. Now, I still love this game. At its core, the map design, the level design, the gameplay mechanics are still perfect. And if they can fix the performance issues, then this game will go back to being a perfect game. But until and unless then, they have royally fucked it up, because it no longer feels as good to play, and it definitely has performance issues. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's crashing, and there's frame dips. Two things that are unacceptable and should not happen. And if that means that they have to get rid of the Denuvo Anti-Cheat, I would rather them get rid of that and find some other way to deal with cheating than leave that stupid-ass thing in the game and have to deal with these really bad frames. Because like I said, I have no idea how you would play this game on like Ultra Nightmare or some of the higher difficulties without pulling your absolute hair out, because it just does not feel the way it should feel anymore since this update. I know I'm not the only person experiencing it, because Reddit and the Steam forums have been blowing up with people complaining about performance issues. If you've been lucky enough to not have your performance impacted, I'm very happy for you, but this is something that has impacted me directly, and I have examples of it recorded today in this video for you. So yeah, I hope that they resolve this quickly, like in the next couple of days quickly, because I probably won't be playing that much until they fix this. And other people, I'm sure, are frustrated with it and don't want to play it as well with these problems. And I can see it really hurting the replayability of the game and really hurting the battle mode community, in that people aren't going to be playing it and it's going to die out because of these bad issues. Nobody wants to deal with crashing, and nobody wants to deal with bad frame dips. I'm sorry. So yeah, hopefully they fix it fast. Hopefully they bring it back to how it felt before this update, to where the performance isn't tanked, to where the performance still feels good, because mechanically this is one of the best feeling first-person shooters that I have ever played. The fluidity and the speed are essential to the fun of this game. And as it stands right now, with the performance, it's hindering that fun, and it is keeping it from being the perfect game that it used to be.